And I've got my team here. We're very excited to bring you another great webinar as part of this series with an old friend and a true expert in the industry. But before I introduce him, let me do a quick kind of rundown of what we have today. So we will invite our expert speaker on stage. He'll give us his remarks, about sort of the state of the industry, also perhaps some of what he's working on. And then we'll invite one of our alumni. So actually a fellow from our Amplifier program. He will come on stage and do a quick case study, sharing what he is doing, how he's leveraging AI. And then we'll invite our expert speaker to come back, make some comments, some live comments. And then finally, we'll open it up to a live Q&A to round out the hour-long session here today. So just as a reminder, we have this chat box here on the right-hand side of the screen. So as we go through the session, if you have any questions, any comments, any points you'd like us to discuss or to go into further, please do feel free to use that box. Talk to us, talk to me, talk to the speakers, so we can make this an interactive session, because I think that's always how the audience gets the most value out of it, and is how we'd like to help share some of this knowledge here today. So please do feel free to use that chat box to ask any questions. All right, and now let me do a quick introduction to our speaker. Actually, I think he probably doesn't need an introduction because he's an old friend of 10 times 1000. This is Derrick Loi. He's currently the VP Enterprise Architectures APAC at NTT DATA. He is, wow, how do we summarize his experience? He's currently leading this mega deal pursuit team to transform and upgrade NTT's data capacity to seed, to grow, to win big deals, and to expand their business, whether it's in AI, ML, hybrid cloud, managed data, and data-driven app dev workloads. He was previously a key senior leader at Ant Group Digital Technologies, and he's actually been a lecturer with 10 times 1000 before. So I think probably many of you are already familiar with him. But really, a true industry expert. He's a trusted advisor to CXOs across ASEAN, and really a recognized leader in this field. So we are very privileged to have him joining us here today. And so I'm going to invite our team to bring Derrick onto stage to make his remarks. Derrick, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Carl. First and foremost, a true pleasure to be, back with this community, right? This esteemed community. I've always had a strong passion, right, to do what is right, right, and that's why when Carl and some of the senior leaders in Ant Group approached me, years back, right, to be a resident director of 10 times 1000, I jumped at the opportunity, right? So, even though I've left Ant Group, I'm very honored to be invited back to continue to share some of the on-the-ground observations, which I will do so later today with this community. And hopefully, we will continue to, benefit, all right, each other with our sharing, so as to ensure financial inclusion, right, and to improve, financial access, right, to a lot more of the underbanked, as well as the those who deserve a lot more, right, in terms of knowing how to leverage on financial knowledge to improve their well-being. At the same time, it's important to look at some of the trends that might be prevalent in the coming year, right? And we are at the start of the new year. So first and foremost, there's an uncertain interest rate, and this is interesting, right? Because last year we saw that the Feds have started to cut interest rate, right? And inflationary pressure has sort of like stabilized, right? Which gave confidence to the Feds to cut interest rate. But with the new Trump administration coming on board in about, I think it's 4 days time, this is where there might be tariffs, right? As he has openly declared, there might be tariffs that's introduced to certain regions and certain countries, and this might introduce a new wave of inflationary pressure, which might then pause a lot of the interest rate, cuts that the Feds were positioning, right, or were hinting at. So with this environment, obviously they introduce a lot more uncertainty, right, to the overall banking sector and the overall larger finance sector. Prevailing market conditions continues to be uncertain, primarily because of the possibly bipolar geopolitical challenges that might be introduced due to these tariffs, right? With the incoming Trump administration. And this again results in dual supply chain, a decoupling of the supply chain, which ultimately, right, brings about a increased cost of operations and cost of goods, right, and services to end users. So that continues to be a huge uncertainty that will only start to see some light of day, probably towards the end of 2025. Product innovation will continue to be a key top of mind for a lot of banks because they have to compete with a lot of the more agile fintech players. A case in point is Malaysia introduced, I think, 5 new digital bank licenses last year or the year before, right? And this year, end of last year, Thailand has also started the tender, right, for new digital bank licenses. So we can progressively see a lot of this opening up in terms of the of new licenses to the more agile fintech players, and this will obviously put pressure on the traditional banks to innovate, right? So this will continue to be a increased cost burden, and as with all innovation, there's also the need to therefore increase upon the scale of your compliance, right? In terms of operations, in terms of reporting, right? So that will be an ongoing increasing cost. This is also obviously amplified by the fact that with a lot more new threat vectors, the guidelines for regulatory and compliance reporting from the monetary authorities across ASEAN, we can see has also been tightened, and there's a lot more requirement for compliance reporting. Um, and moving on, right? Last but not least, in the whole climate, in the whole scheme of things, right? While the banks are eyeing digital investments, especially in wealth management, right? We do see a lot of banks introducing wealth management across the region, upgrading their consumer banking to lifestyle banking. But all this means that, there's a need for a lot more innovation, plus upgrading of their current risk tech, integration technologies, and the cybersecurity that goes with it. But at the same time, due to the overall uncertain market conditions that I've mentioned earlier, their IT budget has actually stayed stagnant, or might even, in some cases, be expected to do more with less, right? So this is the overall key banking trends that we are seeing, right, based on the conversations with a lot of the large banks across the industry, across Asia. So in summary, right, I have highlighted 3 of the key challenges that I'm really hearing from the banks that I talk to. First and foremost, the increase in regulatory compliance, the cost of maintaining the compliance, and this is really necessitated by the fact that with AI, the fraudsters have gotten more sophisticated, and therefore the guidelines as well as the hygiene factor, right, has also increased. Next, with the deregulation or the opening up of the market, a lot more agile fintech players are coming in, especially to serve the SME market, and they are leveraging on AI in order to lower their cost of operation, improve upon their agility to respond, right, to SME customers with microfinancing. On average, we see the interest rate for SMEs being lowered from an average of about 13%, 13 to 15%, to now easily about 7 to 8%, right? So almost half, of the interest rate that's charged to SMEs by these more agile fintech providers who are leveraging on AI in order to lower their cost of lending, right? To improve upon, to automate their credit scoring and their credit assessment. Last but not least, as with and this is a continuous trend through the years, right? the need to continue to improve upon your cybersecurity posture, right? So that is something that is always on the top of mind as the fraudsters get more get more advanced, right, in using AI tools to be able to permeate their threat vectors. Now, let me speak a bit more about how AI in finance, in terms of some of the key trends. And this is a follow-on from the mini series, right, that I think some of you have seen before as part of the 10,1000. So I'm not going to repeat some of the key points from that mini series, but to actually, expand from there, right, and to give some of the newer observations. But again, for those people who might be joining us for the first time, it's important again to highlight the fact that there's many types of AI in the market, right? And especially for AI in finance, you might hear a lot of buzzword around GenAI, but GenAI is actually not the be all and end all, right? There are other more mature AI models that are already used by banks, right, for the longest time. Take, for example, PredictiveAI, which is primarily used in business forecasting, risk assessment, fraud management, right? Language AI, which is used by banks for their virtual assistants, the chatbots, to improve upon the customer service, to actually analyze your sentiment, the tone of your voice, right, to determine the best response, right, to engage with their end users. And last but not least, adversarial AI, which is really more on improving upon the cybersecurity posture, doing a preventive assessment, right, of where could be the next vulnerability, and also to improve upon anomaly detection. So the bottom three has been used by bank for the longest time, but more in recent months, right, we have heard a lot of buzz around generative AI because that's an area where, with the prevalence of LLM, it has given birth to a lot more innovative use cases on how new content, right, and unique content can be created to serve banking users. And this is where so far we have seen primarily cases around not only just coding, there's more of an internal use case within banks, but banks are now using generative AI for digital avatars, for allowing them to improve upon their customer service, right? But at this moment, the ROI for that is still, in the early stages and to be determined. So, with that as an opener, right? I think let me zoom in a bit more on, the two modes of AI that banks are definitely now investing in. So predictive AI, like I mentioned, has been used for the longest time for fraud, for risk management. But GenAI is where they are now leveraging on that to create unique content, to serve dynamic content, as well as to even come up with new to improve upon the current workflow in order to improve upon the customer journey, the onboarding journey for new customers. And we really see how most banks are now also truly understanding that it is not just one or the other, right? So while a lot of banks have used predictive AI for the longest time, and they are now experimenting with some of the Gen AI, they truly see that it is coming together that will allow them to reap the best of both worlds, right? And that is where a lot more of the use cases, a lot more of the integration, a lot more of the the modernization and the standardization of the data estate, so as to be able to then provide a consistent set of data to train the AI models, right, across all banking's internal bank divisions. That is where we are seeing that trend of ensuring that data estate modernization, the data cleanup, in order to serve both predictive AI and Gen AI. And we are seeing Gen AI, from a pilot use cases point of view, being applied from the front office to the middle office to the back office, right? And again, it makes sense because at the end of the day, it shouldn't be, just to, improve upon the sales without the corresponding follow-up right, in terms of resolving the tickets or in terms of issuing of the loans, right? So and this is something which again I mentioned earlier, right? A lot of the banks are also starting to realize the need to actually integrate and standardize the data estate across the front office, middle office to the back office in order to truly, see the ROI from their GenAI workloads. But as of this moment, like I mentioned, the banks are still, you know, trying to give it a longer runway before they ascertain the ROI impact of GenAI. So from a initial response or feedback, we clearly see that cost savings, especially for for use in code generation, code optimization, and how it helps to actually reduce the time to market for some of the CI/CD, right? That is where the real benefit has been seen. The other real benefit is definitely with regards to how GenAI has been used to improve upon, addressing syndicate attacks, right? So AML fraud used to be a case where you actually filter based on PEP, you base on name lists and transaction monitoring. But with the fraudsters now using AI to automate, right, the scale of the attacks and to actually create profiles, right, similar profiles that might be able to pass through right, a certain eKYC. So take for example, if you were to tamper one aspect of your identity, identity card, for example, and you are able to pass through the eKYC. Nowadays, fraudsters are able to use GenAI to replicate that particular micro tampering at scale, and then they will be able to launch the attack, at scale, to actually maximize the damage. So, in that case, we also see banks now using GenAI to actually improve upon the ability to actually graft and capture the patterns, right? In order to then straight away also identify what could be the possible mutations of this attack, and in so doing, be able to put a larger defense, what do you call, against such a syndicate attack, right? So that's where we see some of the cost savings being realized. Then from a revenue generation, I would have to say it's still early days, be it from digital avatars to chatbots to even improve customer service in order to drive retention of customers' lifetime value. I would say that the results will take probably another 2-3 years before you can really conclude, right, that this would have a actual impact to the growth and retention of customers, right? And this is primarily due to the fact that some of these GenAI use cases like digital avatar only came about in the last 1 year. But talking or sharing with you the trends itself is not something which is not backed up, right? And I think this is where I want to also share that NTT Data, we have actually done a very comprehensive GenAI report where we actually push out a survey, right? A research to close to 34 markets over 5 regions, right? And you can see that APAC is actually very well covered with about 784 respondents, right? The most across all the regions. And this GenAI report truly backed up, some of the summary, some of the points that I've mentioned earlier. But let me zoom in on the few, right? So first and foremost, I mentioned earlier that AI is not new to bank. A bank has been using predictive AI, language AI, adversarial AI for quite some time. And it's only in recent years that they have started to really double down on Gen AI, right? And therefore, the survey also shows clearly that for banking investment, the increase in percentage of banks who are actually or companies in the banking sector that are putting more investment into Gen AI is only a 15% increase, right? When you compare against the current, all right, we have done significant investment at 48% to 55% who are going to do significant investment in Gen AI over the next 2 years. If you look at the percentage increase in percentage, the delta increase is about 15. It's actually much smaller than the rest of the industry, right? And this really reinforced the point that the banking sector, be it forced by competition, be it forced by cost pressure, be it forced by the need to innovate above and beyond their more agile fintech competitors, the neobanks, they have actually been investing into AI, and therefore they are not new to this particular innovation. Now, what are some of the use cases that our survey has thrown back or has revealed? First and foremost, the number one priority is definitely to improve productivity. All right, of no surprise, right? How do you decrease the cost to serve? How do you decrease the cost of lending, right? And therefore give interest rate that can match some of the neobanks. The second area for investing would be in improving security. Again, of no surprise at all, right? The fraudsters are using AI to attack, increase their threat vectors. Similarly, the banks or any enterprises, right, will also need to leverage on AI to improve upon their mitigation. Then last but not least, to accelerate innovation, right? New use cases, new product offerings to cater to newer, what they call investment habits, new alternate investment or alternate products, alternate securities, right? So these are all areas where with AI, you can improve upon the ability to launch such new products faster, right? And what's interesting is if you look at the last consistently, right? The last consideration on their mind is to reduce costs, right? So this is, I wouldn't say it's a surprise, but it's sort of like reaffirm, that banks are truly on the forefront, right, in terms of AI in finance adoption. Um, I would say that this is a topic which I've covered in my mini series, and that is the risk and threat that's posed by GenAI, has definitely gone into deepfakes, with the combination of the ability to generate image and audio to now being able to generate video. And some of you might ask, why is this a concern, right? This is a concern because, traditional eKYC where you just present a ID card, now you can actually easily generate a fake ID, right? And so a lot of eKYC now will come up with an additional step where they will do a challenge response, right? And this challenge response could be via a background color that would then be flashing, right, on random, or it could the challenge response could ask you to, for example, turn left, right, and raise up, your right hand, right, while random, is with injection attacks and also with the ability to now use AI to generate video at in a very quick time. You are now also able to actually interject, right, a video of the actual person in order to counter such challenge response, right? And this is where we are seeing a lot of such real world examples happening across Asia Pacific. I'm just highlighting this for Philippines, but definitely is happening across Asia Pacific. And this is where NTT Data has actually been able to address, right, some of this cybersecurity, some of this fraud challenges with the use of AI, especially enhanced predictive AI. But at the same time, like I mentioned earlier, especially with regards to retail banking, with regards to payment efficiency, we have also leveraged on GenAI to improve upon the employee experience and customer experience. So if you are interested to find out more, please do not hesitate to reach out. But today I'm not going to go into too much details except to share that these are some of the capabilities and areas where NTT Data has been able to help our banking customers. So as I think I've taken up too much time, but again, you can see how passionate I am in this area, as I always interact and hear firsthand from customers that I work with. But if I may, just to share a snapshot of some of the top comments I'm hearing now, right, as we begin 2025. First and foremost, continuing on the momentum in 2024, AI will continue to take center stage. But 2025 will also be a year where we will start to see some harsher realities, right? In terms of a reality check. Earlier, I mentioned the fact that the interest rate will remain. The interest rate, will be uncertain, right? The whole market conditions will be uncertain with the new tariffs that might be introduced. So, with this backdrop, all right, while there will be continued investment into realizing some of the AI use cases, especially GenAI, there will be a lot more scrutiny on the ROI. There will be a lot more reality check on whether this investment is cutting it, right? And maybe taking steps to pull the investment, to stop and switch to something else, right? So this is definitely one of the areas or observations that I'm making. Another observation that I'm making is that as AI systems become more integrated into our daily lives, there's also now a more collective recognition, right? That there must be that the sector must come together, the different stakeholders, right? Both public, private, must come together to ensure responsible use and compliance. And this will pressure a lot more of the industry and government leaders to enhance AI accountability and address possible ethical and misinformation issues. Okay, so we are clearly seeing that, and we are also seeing that there are some countries that are taking lead in that to drive a region or at least a sector-wide adoption. Companies will continue to look for help, right, to balance between sustainability and growth in this AI-powered era. All of you, or most of you, would appreciate the fact that with the introduction of carbon tax in this year, right? In fact, in this year, a lot of countries will introduce carbon tax. There's definitely a huge focus on sustainability. But at the same time, with the continuous innovation into AI, it will consume more power from data centers, from the burning of the powering of all these servers and the AI chipsets. So how do you balance between that? I think is where companies are trying to get help to figure that out. Humans and AI will coexist in the next generation workforce. I think this is already obvious, right? Most of us today leverage on one of the LLMs, right, to improve upon our productivity, to respond, to give us a draft, response to emails, to do analysis, to do trend analysis, or to even do statistical analysis of data, right? We're already leveraging our AI. So therefore, AI will continue to be an integral part of the workforce, especially to address skill shortage in certain roles. But it also means that now employees who will be able to harness AI will outperform those who do not use it. Okay. So again, I think this reinforced one of my earlier comments in the mini series, whereby I did mention the fact that AI will not replace jobs, but professionals and people who know how to use AI will replace those who do not use AI. I think that is clearly seen, right? As we see how the barrier of entry is further lowered for us to be able to adopt some of these AI tools to improve upon our productivity. All right, so that's all. Carl, so sorry if I've taken too much time, but as usual, you can see the passion and some of the very on the ground observations that I'm just sharing, right? And it is a pleasure for me to be able to share that with this community, which I'm so proud to be part of. Right? Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you so much, Derrick. Wow, another masterclass, giving us the macro perspective, the key trends and challenges, going into the different types of AI and their functions, sharing even some original research, and then offering these really insightful conclusions and inspiration for all of us. So special thank you for Derrick. But we're not quite ready to close out tonight. So now we would like to move on to the next portion, where we're going to invite one of our alumni on stage to do a quick sharing, a case study of how he is deploying AI, and then we'll invite Derrick to make a few comments on that, and then we'll have a quick Q&A. I saw some questions coming through, and then we'll wrap things up by 8. So without further ado, let me invite our alumni. So this is Havit Rovik, founder of Semboja Techno Solutions, and a fellow from the Amplifier Program, 10 times 1,000 community member. And he's going to discuss his AI-powered solution for addressing real-time fraud detection. So without further ado, let us invite Havit on stage. Havit, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Kyle. And yeah, hi, Derrick. Hi, everyone. And yeah, thank you for sharing such valuable insights about AI and fintech, Derrick. It's really inspiring and insightful. Now let's dive into an discussion on a specific AI adoption we can offer to users. Per Derrick explanation, AJA falls into the language AI type. Yeah, the AI to produce sentiment analysis. But before we proceed, let me introduce myself. My name is Havit, and I'm from Indonesia. I bring 14 years of experience across various sectors and industries. Last November, I had the privilege of participating in the Amplifier Program, the initiative by 10,000 Tech for Inclusion. And then about the Semboja, we back in 2022, together with my friends Gilang and Andang, we founded Semboja to participate in a hackathon organized by Bank OCBC. So in that competition, we developed a WhatsApp-based banking solution, utilize their API, and we emerged as the winner of the competition. And then 2 years later, we officially established Semboja Techno Solutions as a legal entity, and we proudly became a Meta verified tech provider. So with access to WhatsApp for Business, we asked ourselves, what's next? Then that's when we decided to explore the exciting new frontier, the artificial intelligence. So this is the agenda for today. A brief overview of our AI product and its key features, and then the insights into the product development process, how AI enables rapid product prototyping and transform the way we approach product development. So the problems here, in Indonesia, it's reported a 28% increase in the digital fraud case in 2023. And it's driven by the increased online transaction and the digital payment adoption. The Indonesian consumers reported losses of over IDR 246 billion in fraud-related incident in 2023 alone. And then there is a challenge in the current system. The existing fraud detection solution are largely reactive. It means that it's detecting fraud only after it occurs. In Indonesia, 72% of internet users engage in the online transaction, making them vulnerable to fraud. What if we add another thin layer to the users to prevent a suspicious transaction before it happens? So welcome AJA, the artificial intelligence joint analysis. In the past several years, WhatsApp has remained the dominant social media platform in Indonesia, with the impressive popularity and the user engagement. We, as in the Semboja, we built AJA on top of WhatsApp to make it more accessible and user-friendly. And then, as we can see here, the AJA leverage collaborative analysis. It's integrating multiple data sources. There is data from Google Search, there is data from the checkreckoning.id, this is from the government institution. And then we also partnered with the third-party provider. So let's take a deeper dive into how this works. There are two main data sources gathered by AJA, the public and the private. This is the public domain, and then this is the private domain. In the public domain, we have built our AI agent. There is AI agent here that retrieve data from checkreckoning.id, and then there is one more AI agent that retrieve data from public sources. For the private data, Semboja has partnered with one of the leading payment gateway in Indonesia to access the proprietary data. Once the data is retrieved, the next stage is transforming the raw data into a usable format for the AI model. This AJA, and there is the AI model from an AI provider. This process includes the normalization and other data preparation steps. Then Aija will feed the data into the AI model, which later will generate the actionable recommendation to the users. So this is the Aija, and yeah, so here we go, the Aija in front of the users. Its user interface is built using WhatsApp flows, a meta product available for verified business entities. It's basically WhatsApp chatbot. It will reply your text, and then it will provide the form. And in this form, users are prompted to input the essential details, the bank name, the account number, and then the recipient's name. This information enables the AI model to process and generate the necessary recommendations. So Aija will send the information back to the users, the detail, and then including the analysis result. In this real sample, Aija identified this account number and this recipient name has some issues related to the basically this suspicious transaction. As you can see here, this social media post on X report, blah 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 blah. So that's the analysis result from Aija that we gathered from various data source. And then in addition to the Aija as a B2C product, we also plan to offer the API endpoints that we use here to other fintech institutions who wish to leverage our recommendation analysis for their own system. So this is demo time. We will see how this, basically this is the Aija. I don't think it's broke. Let's check. Let's use this one. This the user can send a message to Aija, and then Aija will respond to the users. And later, there is a menu to user to check the bank details. Basically, this is the details that Aija requires to provide the analysis. The bank name, the account number, and then the recipient's name. So after it sent, the Aija will process the data and the response will be sent back to the users. So basically, that's it about the Aija. Okay, so next you may be wondering, did we use AI tools to build another AI-based product? The answer is yes. We use AI tools to build the AI product. So well, it's true we use AI tools to develop Aija. The majority of its development was focused on the backend side, which might not be obvious to some of you. So instead, we will demonstrate a similar approach we use when building another Semboja product. And before we proceed, a quick disclaimer here. We are not affiliated with these tools. We simply found that these AI tools are incredibly useful and can reduce process from hours to minutes. This is the same as Derrick's explanation. If you are a professional and you are using AI tools, this will really make your life easier. So this is the AI tools that we use to rapidly creating a product MVP. This tool called Bolt New. This is it's available for anyone that you want to try. Basically, you can do the prompting here, and the tool will respond your request, and will provide basically you need to provide such details so it produces the product that you expected. In here, I asked the board to create an expense management, and then after the MVP is done in board, we will hand over this to developer. And then the developer here in Semboja, we use another AI tools. It's called WinSolve. Basically, this is the AI tools to develop to do the development. And yeah, we in this IDA, the developer can still do the prompting, and then yeah, based on the code that provided there, it will make the necessary adjustment based on the user's request. So in here, I asked the WinSolve to add one more feature in the existing form. So yeah, this is the skills that new skill for developers essentially. If you want yeah, if you don't want to be replaced by AI, so yeah, this is the result. Yeah, this is the existing and then the new features. Yeah, so yeah, basically that's it. Okay, yeah, we hope this gave you a good overview of how AI is shaping both our products and our development workflows. And then, yeah, this sort of fun fact here. Before I close the slide, yeah, the name Aja originally came from us. It simply means AI from Semboja. However, the ChatGPT offered a more fitting recommendation, the artificial intelligence joint analysis. And yeah, we could not agree more with this recommendation. And then, yeah, this is the second fun fact from us. In the beginning, I mentioned Semboja's participation in the Amplifier Program. And yeah, the little truth here is when we first discussed about it, I turned to my AI journey for assistance and inspiration to what to write to help us get selected as one of its participants. So AI really will be part of our daily life. Okay, thank you. And yeah, join us in this exciting journey to enhance digital security and contribute to a trustworthy financial ecosystem. Back to you, Kyle.
Great. Thank you so much, Javi. That was a wonderful sharing. So exciting to see what you're working on. That's really fantastic. And yeah, we have the three of us on stage now. So we're thinking maybe we can invite Derrick to, make any comments, either specifically on Havit's sharing his application or more broadly, perhaps, I know this touched on some of the areas that you talked about, some of the trends related to this field that you see in the industry. But yeah, just wanted to invite Derrick to see if you had any comments or thoughts you wanted to share with the audience here.
Thanks, Carl. Definitely, I would like to address one of the questions in the chat panel for the sharing that I did. So I think the question was around how you can actually leverage on AI to protect the data in transit, especially with regards for the APIs, right? In my view, there are a couple of combination of encryption techniques and AI-based security measures you can adopt. So first and foremost, obviously, encryption, right? Using strong encryption protocols like TLS to encrypt the data being transmitted between the client and the server, right? So this ensures that even if the data is intercepted, right, it cannot be read without the decryption key. Next, leverage on AI to improve upon your anomaly detection, right? Using AI algorithms to actually monitor and detect patterns, right? Which is where I was talking about, using advanced graphing, using, some of the GenAI to actually identify patterns and group patterns. So again, this will allows you to actually protect some of this data in transit via your API calls. Data masking and tokenization, right, for sure. Tokenization will replace some of the sensitive data with unique identifiers that can only be mapped back to the original data using a secure tokenization system. Access control, I think done it is very proven, right? So I don't have to elaborate too much on that. And last but not least, look, nothing beats having regular audits, right, and updates. The truth of the matter is, no matter how advanced your AI model are, no matter how advanced your encryption protocols are, you still need to do random checks, right? Regular random checks, regular audits, to ensure that, there are no new surprises, right? So I just wanted to take this opportunity to address one of the questions earlier, Carl. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for that, Derrick. And I think we're almost out of time here, but I know we also had one chat question directed towards Havit for his case study. Havit, I don't know if you saw this in the chat box, but we had a question from Farid. Do you have any prevention step for every request in your application? So yeah, maybe Havit, do you want to field this question?
Yep. Thank you, Kyle. And yeah, thank you, Farid, Mas Farid, for the question. And for the prevention step, probably it's yeah, Asia will not do transaction. Basically, Asia will only check not actually it's not check the transaction. It's only do the checking for the account number and the bank name. And then for the rule that we use here, we follow the compliance rule. Usually, it has some risk scoring, and then it will fall down into three categories: the low score, low risk score, and then the medium, and then the high. Basically, this score will determine the sentiment analysis that we send back to the users. So yeah, that's it. We still follow the traditional compliance out there. There are some risk scoring, and then there are some rules about this level. I hope this answers the question.
Thanks so much, Havit. And yeah, I think we've just reached the end of our time here today. So a very big thanks to Derrick and Havit, both for their time, for sharing their expertise, for being such active parts of this community. We're all really inspired by this mission, but also by your support. So a big thanks to both of you, and thanks to our audience as well for your active participation. And remember, this is just one part of the conversation. So please feel free to continue in our chat groups on WhatsApp and LinkedIn. Keep sharing ideas, keep inspiring each other, keep supporting each other, as we're all very inspired by the mission that we're all working on here today. So a special thanks to everyone. Derrick, Havit, thank you for your time, and we'll see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.